A student walked through the village carrying a heavy bag. His teacher asked, "What are you carrying?" The student said, "The opinions of everyone I meet, what they think of me, what they might say, whether they approve." The teacher looked at the bag. "And how much of what's in there do you control?" The student thought for a moment. "None of it." The teacher nodded. "Then why carry it?" The student had no answer. The teacher walked on. The student stood there, holding a weight that was never his to bear. Living for other people's opinions is one of the most exhausting ways to go through life, because you're trying to control something that will never be in your hands. What people think of you is theirs. It's shaped by their experiences, their wounds, their projections, their mood on any given day. It has almost nothing to do with who you actually are. And yet, so many people spend their entire lives trying to manage it, adjusting their behavior, hiding their truth, performing a version of themselves they think will be acceptable. The Buddhist teaching is clear. Attachment to praise and aversion to blame are two of the 8 worldly winds that blow you off course. When you live for approval, you're at the mercy of forces outside your control. Someone praises you, and you feel temporarily good. Someone criticizes you, and you collapse. Your sense of self becomes dependent on feedback that shifts constantly, unpredictably, irrationally. You're building your life on sand, and the cruelest part is that it's never enough. You can please 10 people, but the one who disapproves will occupy your mind. You can succeed by every measure, but if someone questions your choices, you'll doubt yourself. Because when your internal compass is set by external validation, there's no stability. The wind always changes, and you're always adjusting, always performing, always exhausted. The Taoist teaching offers something different. Lao Tzu writes, "Care about what other people think, and you will be their prisoner." Not sometimes, always. Because the moment you make their opinion your measure, you hand them the keys to your peace. And most people don't even know they're holding those keys. They're just living their lives, thinking their thoughts, completely unaware that you've given them authority over your well-being. But here's the liberation. You don't have to care, not in the sense of being cold or indifferent, but in the sense of not making their opinion the axis around which your life turns. You can hear what people say, you can consider it, but you don't have to let it define you, because their opinion is not truth, it's just perspective. And perspective is always partial, always limited, always colored by things that have nothing to do with you. When you're clear about your own principles, when you know what you value, what you stand for, what matters to you independent of external validation, you have an internal compass. You can ask yourself, does this align with who I want to be? Does this serve what I care about? Does this come from my heart? Or am I doing it to avoid judgment? And when the answer comes from within, you stop needing the world to approve, because you've already approved. And that's the only approval that sustains. This doesn't mean you ignore all feedback. Wise counsel from people you respect can be valuable. Honest reflection from someone who sees you clearly can help you grow. But there's a difference between listening to someone who knows you and cares about your development, and contorting yourself to satisfy the opinions of people who don't know you, don't understand your context, and frankly, aren't thinking about you as much as you imagine. Most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to spend much time judging yours. And the ones who do judge, who scrutinize, who criticize, who have strong opinions about how you should live, are often projecting their own fears, their own limitations, their own unmet desires. Their judgment says more about them than it does about you. And when you realize that, the weight starts to lift. In Zen, there's a teaching. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The tasks don't change. What changes is that you're no longer performing them for an audience. You're doing them because they need doing. You're living because this is your life, not because you're trying to convince someone else that you're living it right. When you let go of the need for approval, you also let go of the fear of disapproval. And that fear is what keeps most people small. They don't pursue what they actually want because someone might judge them. They don't speak their truth because someone might disagree. They don't take risks because someone might say they failed. And so they live a careful, constricted life, shaped not by their own desires but by their fear of other people's reactions. But the Buddha taught that living for others' opinions is a form of bondage. And the way out is not to become arrogant or dismissive. It's to become grounded, To know yourself well enough that external opinion becomes noise, not navigation. You can hear it, you can acknowledge it, but it doesn't determine your direction. So ask yourself, what do I actually value? What principles guide me? What goals come from my heart, not from the expectations I've absorbed? And when you're clear about those things, you can put down the bag, you can stop carrying the weight of what everyone might think and start carrying only what's yours, your choices, your commitments, your path. The opinions will still be there. People will still have them, but they won't control you because you'll finally understand their thoughts are theirs. Your life is yours, and the only person whose approval you truly need is the one looking back at you in the mirror. The student set the bag down. It felt strange at first, walking without it, lighter, freer, and he realized he'd been carrying something that was never meant to be carried at all. If you choose to follow this channel, it truly helps me keep creating and improving these reflections. And if not, that's completely okay. I'm grateful you spent this time here. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode. Until then, I wish you a calm and peaceful day.